Well, hi, good morning, and thanks so much for joining me in my shop here. Oh, it's almost the end of April, April 29th today. So last night I came in here around 10 o'clock at night, turned these two radios on, hooked them up to the same outdoor antenna, and compared the operation of the two of them, and I got some interesting results. First of all, they both sound really good. They're great to listen to. They have a really nice sound to them. But there's a difference. Big difference with the one on the right. The one on the right looked to me like it needs some alignment work. Was receiving kind of okay at the bottom of the band, but by the time you get to the top, it couldn't receive stations that the other radio was receiving, that this one here was receiving. So I think that guy needs a little bit of alignment. And maybe just a general checkup on him too. So let's see, I made some notes here. So this guy, you can't turn the volume to 0. And it's actually quite annoying because it is pretty strong now, and so there's always volume there. So I want to try to sort that out. Band switch. Must be this one I'm talking about. Not snappy. Yeah, this one. The band switch is all kind of gooey. It needs a little bit of cleaning in the mechanics inside that radio. I noticed the difference in the ABC operation, dramatic difference. This radio maintained a fairly level volume on a signal which is going up and down, and this one, up and down, up and down. Quite dramatic difference. Almost made me think there's no ABC here. Both radios are very quiet between stations though, which is kind of nice. And that's it. Oh, yeah, one more thing. This radio went dead. So I guess I was playing them for maybe 20 minutes, half an hour. And the volume on this one kept going down, and it was hard to detect this because while you're listening to shortwave radio actively, you're turning the volume up and down and doing all kinds of stuff. Ultimately, though, it became quite apparent that the output level of this radio had sunk to almost nothing, and then there was a kind of a click or a bump, I'm not exactly sure what, and the sound disappeared entirely, never came back. So I guess I used the last bit of that radio up last night. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this guy out of his cabinet here on the bench, and I'm going to focus on this volume control situation, which I've encountered a number of times. It seems to me in the back of my memory I discovered what the basic problem is and how to solve it, but I can't remember, so that's a new problem, a new basic problem. Can't remember. Well, let's start with the schematic here. So dealing with the volume issue, here's the volume control right here. Volume control has this tab out the back with a capacitor. I'm guessing this is a tone controlling thing in some way. It looks to me like when you reduce this right to here, you pretty much just shorted it right out. And there should be zero sound possible if it gets to here. So what could be happening? So maybe in my volume control this doesn't actually make it right to the end. Maybe there's still a little resistance left. That's about the only thing I can think of that could be the case here. So we'll make some simple resistance measurements on the volume control and see what comes out of that. Okay, when I put the radio back together, I put a nice long speaker wire on it. There we are. There's the volume control. Just got this metal bar ring right across where you want to look at it. I'm going to pop that out of there finally. A little late in the game to be removing this, but my smokes, it's in there pretty tight. I'll probably take the other one out, mount them in the radio properly, so I can install things properly. I should have done that a long time ago, for crying out loud. So this is the input side here. This is the output in the middle of the guy. Let's get some more lights on here. Jim, you're working in the dark. And then the back one, the other connection runs. Oh my, I think there's a capacitor hidden back there. What? Oh, so that would be a capacitor utilizing the ground terminal provided by this wire to here, which is hooked up to here, which is hooked up to the center post, which is then riveted to the chassis. So definitely, the far side is a ground, has a wax capacitor coming to it. Son of a gun. That's two. There's one here still. I never did change. And now there's another one hidden around the back there. I think it's hooked up to these wires. Oh, you know what? That capacitor, ooh, that'd be a tough one to deal with. It's actually connected between the tab that comes out the back of the volume control and around to the ground terminal. That's that little capacitor takeoff thing. Could that be responsible for keeping the volume up? I don't think so. Hey, what's going on here? What's going on here? What are you up to? Look, your usual route is blocked here. She goes, wait a minute, I can't get past here. Okay, I have to give my cat a chance here. Let's give her a little space. There you go. Hey, coming around. Now, you know, it's been rainy gray for like 2 days straight now, and it's going to stay that way. Rainy and gray. Right, cat? So you can't be outside, even though you were outside. So volume, voltmeter. Where are you? So my voltmeter's in another room here. I have to go find it. Okay, so what we're looking for here is a dead short on minimum volume from the ground around to here. It's not right. It should be this way. I'm doing something stupid here, am I? So volume down. That puts the slider right on the, yeah, I am doing something a little bit wrong, on the ground terminal. So yeah, I'm doing everything wrong. So it should measure a 0 from here to the here. Can you see? 38 ohms. So, not sure how to fix this problem. Could be it's not fixable. There's a problem right in the volume control. So I'm using clip leads now so we can read the meter while I mess around with my hands. Zero down to here. 38. So there's the same reading, 38. What's with the weird face there, cat? Volume control. Turning up. Right, oh, shoots right up. Okay. So it looks like 0 on this scale, but I'm on the 2000 ohm scale. Going up. Seems to go up nice and smoothly. Yeah, I don't think anything else is wrong with this. And off scale. And the top reading is, how big is this? 1,000,000. But stops at 30. Sometimes just advance it a wee bit, it may go down. No, not going down. You gotta imagine that the slider inside is coming right in contact with the terminal that I'm testing. We should get a 0 there. If you don't get a 0 there, what could possibly stop it from being 0? Dirt? You'd get a very inconsistent result, I would think. Well, the only option I really have is to spray some cleaner in there. I mean, I don't really know what else to do, so we are going to do that and see what happens. Okay, I'm just going to go right past the terminal here. What happened to the reading? 2K. Exactly the same again. It's very strange. It's so consistent. Where else could a what else could it be affected by? Just taking a long shot here, trying everything. If this does something, I'd be totally stunned. No. Now the tone one might do something. No. So consistent. Go up on the other terminal here. Same thing. I saw 20 there for a moment, but it might just been my meter. Well, I don't think I can turn this down to 0. Is there some other way of doing it now? Could that capacitor be affecting it? The capacitor goes to ground. Goes to the chassis. So any volume leaking out of it, I can't see how that gets. I can't see anything here. I cannot see any solution. New volume control. Let's look at the schematic again. Maybe I missed something. So, again, when this slider comes all the way down to here, it should just be 0. I've been reading the resistance between here and here and getting the 32 every time. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I can do anything more to it. Really, I can't see how this could possibly be part of the picture. So, what would happen if what's really happened is the set's become really, really sensitive? The fact is, I couldn't turn this radio up much at all last night. The slight advancing of the volume, a big deal coming out of the speaker. If I were to turn it right up, the impression I got is it would just be a blaster. That's a little odd. So what could be happening there? You have a hypersensitive radio. What would make it hypersensitive? This resistor going open? Or it's probably a big one to begin with. R17. 10 megohms. Yeah, that's a big one, all right. So that going open, I think what it would allow. Where's this going? Maybe the sound is getting to this tube through a different route here. What's going on in here? Oh, here's the feedback line coming from the speaker. This is a feedback manipulation going on in here. But if some of this made it to the grid here, I mean, you'd have real feedback then. So I think I'm just chasing nothing here. It's nice the radio's loud. It's not normally considered a big problem. Yeah, I don't know what to do. I really don't. I think it is what it is. What about this guy? If this guy wasn't any good. But I'm pretty sure, I know I changed it. I'm looking right at it. What would that do anyway? Because once you're down to the bottom here, you're grounded out. I think it's a defective volume control. It won't reach 0 here, ohms. And the little bit that's left is enough to present the signal. Yeah, I think I just got this radio so hot. It can't help but make sound. So, was there any other issues with this radio? I have it out of its chassis. Yes, there was. I didn't write it down here. The alignment is not correct in terms of where things land on the front scale. At least in a couple of cases. I didn't check it too thoroughly. You know what? Maybe this is a really tricky business here. I'm going to stop and think for a minute. That's minimum volume. Now you're listening to, I'm pretty sure, Radio India right now, coming all the way from the country of India. Okay, so what I've done while you were listening to that, it's good to listen to these radios for a while. Did you notice that the volume doesn't go up and down very much? You hear the noise going up and down? The volume remains fairly level. The AVC works really well on this radio. So what I've done is I've gone across the bands. I've written a value near the top, the middle, and the bottom off of each one of these. I'm going to match it on my signal generator and see what, actually I'm going to tune in, like for instance 6. I'm going to find out what it really is using the signal generator. Make notes. We'll see how well I manage with that crazy alignment effort. But I did want you to hear a station. Yeah?
En el barrio San Isidro, en La Habana Vieja, días después de su detención fue
That's doing pretty good. Let's go up a band. This one I think is weak. Well, there's a good look at where 15 megahertz actually occurs on the radio, no doubt about that. Let's have a look here. I'll try and get the camera without any parallax. About there. So way off. Almost about 80 kilohertz off there. Oh, my clock just changed to 4, so it's a little ahead. Okay, nothing like checking everything out here. Oh.
Or Mars will provide announcements on minute 10 of the WWV broadcast and minute 50 of the WWV broadcast. These announcements will provide information to participants regarding the couple.
So a little hard to hear what he's saying there. You see, I can't turn it down. That's really too loud. Kill it with the tone control. It says it was an announcement from the Mars system, military something or other radio system, saying that they're going to be making announcements on WWV. I think I've heard that many times before, actually. So, just looking to make sure the pointer is straight across, but that won't really matter all that much. Okay, so I'm going to start the process here. I'm going to go down to 6 megahertz. Get myself down here. The pointer's really on a bad angle. It's really much lower here. Should I correct that right now? When else would I correct it? Why wouldn't I correct it right now? Let's correct it right now. Okay, so it's the outside side. Has to go down slightly. You know what? There's nothing wrong with this pointer. Something wrong with the angle I was looking at. Come on. Yeah, it's funny. I don't know. Maybe it's my glasses or something. Okay, back to what we were doing. Let's stick it right on 6. And we'll dial this down to 6. See how close we come. Now, do I even have this hooked up here? No. Hooked up to an antenna. There. This will be the signal generator. This receiver really likes using the signal generator as an antenna. Okay, so we're dialed on 6. Right on 6. Tune the radio. You're not going to get any closer than that. 6 is 6. The next one we go to is 7.5. Okay, now we go to 7.5. I'm not gonna. Well, so there's 7.5. I'm just gonna put it right on. And move the dial and find out. You can't get any closer than that. You really can't here. And the last one. Working out much better than I thought. 9. I probably got some bands really good. And maybe not some others. So that's right on 9. 9. So 9's a fair bit off. 8.82. Double check here. Actually, dial in 9 here to find out truly how far off it is. Oh, that's a long ways. Looks like a long ways. Okay, here we go. Now this is where I had trouble understanding what they meant by 9.6 here when I was doing the alignment. So this would be 9.25. It's probably 9.1 is what it is actually indicating here. Slightly off. Next band. Starting at the bottom, 12.1. Okay, 12.1. So 12.1, actually 12.0. Okay, my stupid pencil. Okay, next one's 11.9. We got 11.875. Okay, if I'm going to carry on, it's going to take quite a while, and I'm sure it's quite boring to watch, so we'll see what the result is when I'm done. I have to go sharpen my pencil too. Okay, let's take a look at the result while we listen to the pleasant tone coming out of the radio. So what I've done here is I did 3 frequencies, as you saw, across each band, band, and then this is the dial setting, and in brackets is the actual reading, and then beside it is a mark, an arrow or a dash, indicating the relationship between these two numbers. So for instance, 526 is a little higher than 0.5, so this is up a little bit. Actual reading is up a little bit. Actual reading is down a little bit. Actual reading is down a little bit. Then I tried to draw these lines graphically, so the more down, the longer the line, and it didn't go very well. And then I transferred the lines and the dashes over here. So now we can look at the shortwave band and see that it's dead on, slightly high here. So when it says 9, it's actually trying to receive 9.1. 25 meter band, high at the start, then it goes low and lower. There's quite a non-linearity in that, I guess. 19 meter band, off, more off, way off. 16 meter band, little off, right on, little off. 13 meter band, when I was doing this, I got concerned that in fact the radio's been aligned on the image and not on the real signal. Because I could pick up the image in the wrong spot. So depends upon the local oscillator, is it above or below. We're up on the top band here. There's a chance the local oscillator is below, but I don't know offhand. So if the local oscillator is above, then this thing's aligned on the image, I'm pretty sure. But what do we get anyway? So that's a down, that's a down. This one matched. I should put a little dash there. So you see dash, down, down, a little bit. So really what it says is the 25 meter band, 19 meter band, they didn't come out very good. Interesting enough, the signal strength, the sound you hear right now, pretty consistent across all the bands. So that's a very good sign. The radio's behaving quite consistently anyway. So what to do about this? I think what we do is we get the other radio out and repeat the whole thing and see what it looks like. I think that's what we do about it. Okay, I'm ready to try the same thing on the 39HC. I've got my table laid out and ready to go. And for fun, I've tuned the radio to 6 megahertz. 6 megahertz, and I've set my signal generator to 6 megahertz here. And we'll see if I start the radio up and it's right on the money. Talking about money. Put your money down on this. What are the chances? What are the chances? Well, I have a quarter handy. This is a quarter I found in a radio. This is an important quarter for me, but I'm going to risk it. Because I know nobody can come and get it. When I lose this bet, and I'm betting it's going to work. That's a crazy bet. Far safer to bet it won't. Well, I don't hear anything. Oh! I just doubled my money. Okay, don't know what that popping in was, but yeah, I mentioned at the start of this video, this radio just quit working entirely. And it seemed to start up in that quit working mode, and now it's popped into a working mode. So don't know what that is. Tried the rubber malleting thing a little bit, wiggled some tubes, nothing happened. So I don't know. So I'm going to proceed anyway with the test. Just how close is it? Really close. Excellent. So we're going to start with 6. 10 kilohertz off. Can't really complain about that. Starting at 6. The actual is 599.1. That's really close. Okay, I'm going to continue on, and we'll do the whole radio and see what we get. Okay, so I'm right in the middle of doing the study here, and the radio just made a pop, and the sound disappeared. And so it seemed to me it was getting weaker and weaker, and then boom. That's exactly what happened last night. Same sort of thing. Now what do you hear? Nothing. So let's fiddle a little bit here. Not helping. Band. Not helping. So it would strike me that it's a mechanical thing, that something is heated up and reached a point where it disconnected or connected in some inappropriate way. Could be a fault in a tube. Could be a tube. Once it warms up, it checks out. This tube is doing funny things here. No other tube. These are hot now. Just that guy. Okay, let's pop that off. We'll pull that particular tube out. Take a look at it. I don't know what we're going to see, but is it too hot to touch? Just a little bit too hot to touch. Okay. SK7. Look, there's a great looking tube. We should test it. If only to eliminate the possibility that there's a problem with it. And in this case, I have to keep the test running for quite a while because the problem seems to be heat related. Oh, guess what? My tube tester's been on for a few days here because I threw a piece of paper on top of the green light and lost sight of it. How do you like that? 6SK7, right? 6SK7. I think, I have to check, but I think this radio is a different tube complement from the other one. But I have to check. So we haven't compared the schematics or anything yet. 6SK7. SK7. 6.3, signal level 2, bias is 10 low. 17251. 17251. 4630. 4630. 44. C. So what we're going to do is we're going to check it. Just give it a little bit of time to warm up a bit. Check it. Then we're going to leave it running here for quite a while. Come back and check it again, and maybe even bump up the filament voltage a bit. See if it has a short. Well, nothing appearing. And how well does it work? So this should be a good tube, because I think I put good tubes in. 1520. So this should come just past the peak of the meter there. Well, it's actually below the reject point. It's not the strongest tube going. So it's pretty much straight up. Now we're going to leave this guy running for quite a while. Come back and retest it. See if it's changed. I doubt it. I doubt it very much. So there's two things taking place with this radio. One is the slow fade out, and then followed by the pop and death. And they may not be caused by the same thing. They may not be related at all. So we're going to test this guy again. Well, it's showing a little better because it's just a little warmed up, but nothing. It's not gotten weak over time. So I think it's more likely it's a component, a resistor, or a capacitor. It's less likely a capacitor because I replaced them, the ones that would normally give trouble, but that doesn't mean there isn't one in here that's still acting up. What to do then? Radio's cooled off. Let's switch it back on, see if it's got some volume to it. This observation of it getting weak, is made at a time where I'm working the radio, changing bands, working the volume. So could I be wrong about that? Well, yes, I could be. I don't think so though, because the radio does get quiet. Did get quiet. Okay, we'll let her rip again. Where are we on here? We're on the 19 meter band. We should be at to 4.9. Okay, so that sounds like it's in the non-working state. A bit of a hum and a buzz, but no and a bit of a hiss in there. It is receiving. Okay, let's carry on. So we go 11.5 is the first one we were going to do. 11.5. Let's see if we can find it here. I have a feeling the receiver's not receiving. Let's get a heavier signal. Are we definitely on the 11? 19? We're not. We're not on that band, for crying out loud. Hello, hello, hello everybody. That woke me up. Cat's running through the house. Well, that's a little better. Well, they've sorted that one out. So we're at 11.5. And wait a minute. That was me doing it? Yeah. Hey, that's lots of sound there. So the jumpy drifting thing, I think, is the signal generator. So 11.5, you get 11.49. You know, that's not bad. You can hear the signal level. Next test point is 11.8. It's a station right there. Well, we'll just go right on top of it. Got a lot louder. .8. We got 11.778. Okay, I'm going to carry on. It seems to be holding its own right now. Oh, you just heard it click off. Just before it clicked off, like that, it clicked off and on. And I hit my video recorder so you could maybe hear it go out, and it went out just as I clicked on. So hopefully you heard it go out. Hey, that's great. Didn't seem to be any fade out ahead of that. That sure didn't help. It was a pop, and away she went. The pop. Could it be the cord? No, can't be the speaker, can it? I got this turned up. What's up? This one was making noise before. That still makes a little bit. Well, it's not much else for me to hit on the top here. My best move is to, my assumption here is the actual alignment is not going this way and that way. It is what it is. I should be able to get through this if I shut this set off. Let it restore itself. I've only got a few more measurements to make here. So far, this radio is better aligned than the other one. I'm pretty impressed. So I think I did this 2 or 3 years ago. Something like that. I can't remember for sure. Then I had a great session with it in my garage. Just one test. I was really impressed. Put it back on the shelf, and I haven't used it since. And the reason for that is my area where this radio sits isn't quite fixed up enough that I can have this radio operating all the time. But I'm going to do that. Once this is all over, this guy will become a regular radio for me, as it should. It's a great radio. It's just that it doesn't work. That's the only problem. So we just take a preliminary look at these. No, we won't. I've been doing them, so I have the preliminary look. They're really pretty good. Okay, I'll let the radio cool down, and we'll try again in a little bit. Okay, let's find out if we waited long enough here. Where am I on the chart? Just did 17,750, heading to 18.2. I don't hear the radio. No, it's not working. She's a dead. Okay. Well, looks like I've got some troubleshooting ahead of me on this radio. Well, about an hour's gone by now, so let's find out what happens here with this radio. And I should be set on 18.2. Might as well get this guy ready too. Aha! It works. Okay, a little bit of time left. That's on 18.2. Get 18.17. band. 21 megahertz. I'll start at the bottom here. 22.2. 22.2. 22.11. Next one is 21.6. There. 21.560. Okay, and the last one is 21 we want to do. Okay, 21. 21.03. Okay, so the radio's performing. It hasn't faded. So what? So I'm going to turn it off. We're going to look at this chart now and try to figure out what it tells me. I'm going to stop and put some do a little analysis myself. Then we'll take a look. Okay, here's what I got from that. It's actually a very, very good report. So this is indicating that this band is tuning properly all the way across, very close. And we're talking about the width of the dial. It just, really, this is really close. That band, that band, that band, all really good. This one, we're a little low on the high end. This one, we're a little low on the lower end. This one's just a little out in the middle. And this one's a little low on the higher end. Let's just take a look at that for a second. So when we want to get 21.6, the radio's actually responding to 21.560. We tune to 21.6, and in fact that really is 21.560. So 21.560. Well, you know what? I'll use the dial here. If that's 21.6, oh, these dials are really tough to. 21.5 would be right between these two. And what did I get again? What did I get? 21.56. So if we did 21.5 would be there. And then 6 would be about there. So that's the error right there. That much error. Not very much. Well, that's really good. I'm really happy. Good. Now what? Now what do we do? So obviously it's troubleshooting the intermittent problem with this radio and improving the alignment on the other radio. It needs some more work. I may be done for today. Let me check.